Now, in this video, I'm going to be talking about why people like Baruuk. Baruuk gets a lot of hate because he's pretty passive and people don't like that. He also gets hate because his acquisition just sucks ass. Farm Baruuk Prime, don't get normal Baruuk. Farming the Solaris is kind of just annoying, in my opinion, my humble opinion. But the reason people like him, it's pretty simple. He has insane survivability. It's by no means the best. You can still die as Baruuk, but I feel would require some effort on your part, or rather lack thereof. You have to do stuff to keep his survivability alive. For example, his passive, when your strength meter is all the way gone, you have 50% more resistant to damage. With Desolate Hands, you can have up to 9% damage reduction. And even using Serene Storm gives you some damage reduction. That's 3 ways for damage reduction right there. And honestly, at that point, it's damn near 100%. You're just maxing out damage reduction at that point. And then on top of just the damage reduction, his first ability, Elude, dodges literally everything. You take damage from nothing so long as this is activated, even if somebody does an AoE ground pound right on top of you. Even if you're left staying on the floor, you still don't take any damage. Now, this is an important mechanic of his, and it starts along his restraint bar. This is something that is very important. It's why he's known as a passive Warframe. So long as you're using one for Elude, the moment you start attacking, you'll start taking damage, and that means you can't attack so long as you're using your one. You can still cast your second and third abilities, but the moment you start attacking, your invincibility goes away. And speaking of using his second ability, that's what a lot of people love, is his second ability is a great crowd control ability, knocks these enemies straight to sleep. It is also a fantastic way to lower his restraint meter, and with the range being doubled when you use Elude, you end up lulling a lot of enemies to sleep. Finally, the last thing I want to focus on for why people like him is his Desert Wind ability. His fourth ability, once you have his restraint meter all the way down, does insane amounts of damage, and it has an insane amount of AoE as well. Now, it's no nuker ability, so if you don't like nuking, then playing Baruuk is a way to enjoy a melee build without nuking at all. And with his builds, you can easily go to level cap if you wish. It's not a problem, especially if you throw in the augment for his fourth ability. The augment for his fourth ability, Reactive Storm, gives you 250% status chance and changes its damage type to match enemy weaknesses. That's incredibly important. That means you'll be doing pretty consistent damage regardless of whatever enemy you're going up against. And regardless of whatever you build Desert Wind Prime for, whether you build it for viral, cold, electricity, whatever, you'll still be doing pretty consistent damage regardless of the type of enemy, meaning that he could be viable in any mission whatsoever so long as you build him up properly. And building him up doesn't even require anything really specific. A lot of frames would require you to put in 4, 5, 10 forma. I'm just kidding. Usually it's only 2 or 3, but 1 forma and you can make a pretty decent build. Mine isn't the best. What's carrying it heavily is definitely Reactive Storm, the strength mods, the range mods, and then obviously Arcane Fury and Strike. He's built for range, strength, and then the arcanes for his melee damage for his fourth ability. Every single one of these mods that I have on are quite easy to get, and most players that have been playing for about a year should have them all by now. And for Desert Wind Prime, every single one of these abilities are just the same, super easy to get. If you've been playing for even a few months, you should have all of them. And now, whether you like him because he has just an extreme survivability, massive AoE damage with his fourth ability, that nice powerful augment, good crowd control, effective high level viability with being able to go into pretty much any mission and deal effective damage to those enemy types without changing his build too much. All that really matters at the end of the day is whether you like his playstyle or not. He is a passive frame for sure. For like the first 10 seconds of a mission, he's a pretty passive frame. If you're in a co-op mission, it's even more because all the people are stealing those kills, so you can't really activate his restraint meter. You don't need to lower his restraint meter. He does viable damage without it, but he does more with it gone. But in the end, all that really matters is that he doesn't require too much to get going. He's a relatively fun frame to play, and the only real problem I can think of with him is that getting him sucks ass. I hate doing the Solaris stuff. So with that being said, that's pretty much just about it. Tell me what you think about Baruuk. Do you love him? Do you hate him? Is he just a bit too passive for you? Honestly, I feel like it kind of works. All of his abilities flow well into each other, and it makes for a nice gameplay loop because there's nothing really odd about it. and you don't really have to upkeep too much on anything. It's pretty easy to keep track. And so with that being said, that's just about it. Until next time.